So this is the Self Development With Tacitcs Podcast. This is gonna be about motivation. Yeah. Hello, welcome back to this episode of the Self Development With Tacitcs fucking podcast. This is gonna be a completely different episode because I do quite feel like, doing more on my own, which means that not pretty much relying only on texts and, things that are quite next to me, but rather speak about things that I just think about and things that I just have in my mind about topics that are, for sure correlated to what I'm doing on this channel, because it would be a little bit, not that smart if I would do it anyway. But the problem that I'm having is that how should I do it that it is somehow appealing visually to all the people that might be watching this? Because if there's a text next to me, there's at least something to look at, but not really right now. So the thing is, I'm gonna switch, through all the scenes that I'm having, which might be this one and this one and not this one also not, but this one could also work, and yeah, just this one eventually as well. Today, as you might have seen in the fake intro, to be honest, because it's not actually an intro, because there's no cut, because I, do not quite want to just, use my time to actually cut the videos, because it's taking way too long, not to cut them, but actually to render them out afterwards, which is just something I think about, like, why would I? If it's actually only taking my time and the product, at the end isn't that much better, and if I'm able to actually just, produce high quality videos without cutting them, why would I just use up my time unnecessarily and do that? But yeah, as I said, this was before. Well, this is gonna happen, I think, way too often now, because this one. This is the one that I'm willing to have right now, because it's, I think, not always great to see me all over the place. But yeah. Today it's about motivation, and I do think, which is one of the essential things that I want to talk about, I do not have any notes, which is a little bit fucked up, but I do just gonna write the things down I'm going to say, and I'll just put them down in the description afterwards so that people, and maybe even a PDF, I do think I'm gonna make a PDF so that actually people, have some sort of a resource to actually kind of rely on, not only to just, always have to go through the video, because it's, I think, way better if you can just go through the description or just, a PDF that's in the description. It's just nice for you, and it's just giving you a little bit more time. But yeah, the first thing is, what I want to say is that it is most of the time internal things that will drive people. The problem is a lot of people just come up to other people and be like, just do this, because I don't know, people then, see you completely different, and then you will feel completely different, and, whatsoever. So the thing is, it is somehow just very, very difficult to motivate other people, because it has to be internal. It has to be out of them. External resources can just lead to them feeling internally like, okay, I have to change. I want to do that. I just, really just have to do that. I don't know. But the thing is, you just really have to trigger in them something. In them? This is even right. I don't fucking care. You have to trigger something in them that they, by themselves, want to change. You can't make anybody change that doesn't want to change. And this is a pretty big problem at my point of view, because I think a lot of people will be like, yeah, I want to change the people and whatsoever. But the problem is, when they do not want to change, they don't want to, and they won't. And this is a very big problem. And, at my point of view, one of the reasons, or one of the things that might be just, they might just drive a lot of people are, the internal things. And what internal things? Maybe being healthier. Maybe being like, okay, if I'm just, living a healthier lifestyle, then I'm just living long, and then I might just see things that I haven't seen yet. Maybe for me, a great motivation thing that I just, very look for in the future is the technology to kind of be a little bit, it might sound to a lot of people a little bit strange, but I'm really looking forward to all the flying cars outside there, to the autonomous cars outside there, and all this new technology that we're going to get. And this is also internal. I internally want to have that. I internally want to see that. And therefore, I'm just trying to live my life as healthy as possible. And also because I just want to feel good, also another internal thing, which is not external. I want to feel good, So yeah, the internal one. And therefore, it is very, very complicated well, it's not. The problem is, I think for a lot of people, it is complicated to actually motivate others. But if you're actually going up to them and being like, and speaking in their interest, which is definitely something that's very important, and that's definitely something that I always talk about, is speaking in the interest of other people, which means you're not like, and the best example that I'm always having, and my most liked one by myself is, just have to write it down, is that people actually always, especially in job interviews, which is, the example that I was talking about, especially in job interviews, they come up to the interview, I guess it is called. They come up to the interview and be like, I just really want to have this job because I'm good in this one and I'm good in that one and I'm good at communicating and I can do this. And by the way, I want to have a wage of 2,000 a year. Well, like a month, more like a month. And then people wonder why they do not get the job. Because the problem is, and if you have seen it, you have just, I think you just know what I'm going to talk about. They just only speak about what they want, what they can do, and what they want to have, and whatsoever, but they do not at least think about, and they do not talk about what might be in there for the other person as well. The other person doesn't fucking care if you are good at doing this or that, or if you are kind of, I don't fucking know, if you're a good communicator, if you want to have that wage. But just going up to the person and be like, I want to fucking contribute to your business. And I can do this through these things, through the skills that I'm having. And really saying, okay, I can do that and I can help you through that to really up your business, to really help your business, to really grow your business. And then they're like, yeah, why not? Because it's about them. It's about their business and it's about what they can do through you, what they can achieve through you, than without you. And then you're just becoming a great asset. Or just, I think not an asset, but you're getting something that's very important to them. Because you're kind of the driveway to actually just somehow get them to the place they couldn't get to without you. Which is incredible. And which was also one of the things, just how should I write this down? Funnel. Let's call it funnel. Funnel for success. Which is actually something, I think it was actually yesterday's episode where I've been talking about this. It's actually a millionaire. It was an interview with a millionaire on the isemoney.com website, which is an incredible website, by the way. They are, just to really kind of talk about something else for a moment, there are just some websites I really, really enjoy to be on. The first one is definitely the powermoves.com website. So the powermoves.com website, the powermoves.com. Then Paul Miners, it's with an S at the end, which is something I never ever kind of remembered. Paul Miners.com website, then the SamuelThomasDavis.com website, and then the ISE Money. The first three ones are basically on book summaries, and quite a lot of book summaries, especially the powermoves.com has such a high range and such a facet of different book summaries, whether it's in terms of relationship, whether it's in terms of business, whether it's in terms of, I think marketing is just in the business section, but there's so many fucking books they kind of provide. It's just incredible incredible for me that one singular person, I guess, went through so many books. The Paul Minus is also great. It's free. The Power Moves is not free, unfortunately. Paul Minus is free, which is incredibly great because it is so detailed. It is enormously detailed, and I've just been going through Rework, which is an incredible book about business in general, including productivity, including hiring and firing, including how to make a product, how to and why not to copycat, which is the thing that I've been talking about today, and a lot of other things. So it's an incredible book with incredible insights, at my point of view, written even from incredible people, I think, because it's always something to just really watch out to. Actually being sure, okay, I'm not going to get any advice from someone that hasn't achieved what they tell you themselves. Which means, like, you know, the advice is somehow secondary. You know, if the person that just, you know, told you the advice is shitty himself, why would you take the advice? And so please, really just watch the person and really just see, has he or she achieved what they claim they have, or what claim that you can through their advice, and so on. But yeah, to summarize that, I'm gonna put that all into the PDF, I guess. So the internal things, internal, very important. And how to get to the internal is speaking their interest. Not about you, not about what you want, but actually speaking in their interest and what they can achieve, and actually being like, okay, what could they internally want to have? I'm just thinking now, just really complex, because I haven't made any fucking notes for this video. I just should have, unfortunately. So this is what I've written down. First one is internal, and I'm just thinking about an example if, something that I think I've read somewhere, but I don't remember correctly. Something that I've read in an article or something like this was quite, I think it was quite about, or it was actually something that I came up on myself. I don't fucking know. But nevertheless, if you maybe want to motivate someone that's overweight and someone that's, you know, not quite willing to just, change their eating habits, which is, by the way, incredibly, you just have to do it. You please just have to do it, because if you're not eating right, your mind is also not working right, and you're feeling bad, and you're always tired, and all these things. I do really believe in this, that I am only able to only work, even though I'm only having 4 hours of sleep, or 5 hours of sleep, or 6 hours of sleep 5 days in a fucking row, only because I'm eating right, and only because I'm taking care of my body, also physically and also mentally. So I'm meditating at the moment. I'm not quite doing it, that greatly, and it's just somehow, well, it's, most of the time I'm doing it before going to sleep, or going to bed actually, which isn't maybe the best idea on every days, because on some days I'm just, going to bed at 3 o'clock, like I think yesterday, or just 2:30 o'clock in the morning, which is then something like, you're just meditating because you have to and because it got a habit, but not only but I'm not focusing on actually doing it the best way. I'm just trying to do it, but it's somehow, to some degree, your willpower is just then, going away, or it's just, just really, really low at the end of the day. But yeah. So, what I want to say, I'm just drifting away way too often. If you want to just motivate someone that's overweight and not willing to change how he or she might, or change their eating habits, maybe you will come up to them and be like, okay, if you're going to have any kids in the future, you won't quite be able to just, live a great life with them, or just somehow do things with them because you are not capable of doing this just by yourself physically. And I think this is just something internally, because maybe they want it. The problem is very, very difficult to explain what I just think. And I, by the way, do not know exactly how I should just use it, as well, because the kids might even be an external thing, but also an internal thing, because maybe they want it, maybe they not. And then I think it will just come up to actually knowing these people. If you know, okay, they're really into their kids and they really just, want their kids to be healthy, and I don't know what the fuck. I don't know the fuck they want. But if you really know what they want and what may be, driving them, you can use it as a motivator. You can use it as an anchor, I think they call it in this psychology kind of thing or somehow. I don't know. But you could use it. But you could use it like, I don't know how much you can do with your kids if you're just so overweight and physically not able to. Or I don't know how your future is gonna just look like if you're just physically so, I don't know, so below the average that you not even can just get up the stairs or some shit like this. So the first one is the internal one. And I'm just lacking of the other things that I just want to talk about on how to. So we've covered internal and speaking in the other person's interest. A next one. So searching for a next one. I actually wanted to make the video in this way because I wanted to try it out. I've always been pannering around with actually doing this because I thought I do not only want to rely on just the texters. And the problem is with actually reading the texters, actually going through them, it is somehow very, 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 very strange in my point of view, because people actually can read it on themselves, and so there is quite no reason for me actually to read it. The problem is I do just have to read it myself, because if not, I wouldn't just be able to kind of provide any value, because I wouldn't just know anything, because I don't know too much. I just really have to say I don't know too much. But let's Google it, by the way, and let's see what I think about what I'm seeing, which is quite the exact same thing that I've always been doing. But yeah, maybe I should have done a little bit of writing at first. But I'm just, doing the episode like this right now, trying it out. In terms of speaking, it's, just running very, very smoothly and very, very well. I like it. And I do really believe that, through the reading and through all the reading that I'm having to do when I'm just going through a regular summary or regular article, it is somehow maybe even just hindering myself on actually providing the best value in terms of me and my speaking abilities. But the thing is, I do not have anything to talk about now, and I still have 12 minutes quite. But actually, it's something that I also have to write down. To actually be able to do that, to do the internal thing, you just have to know the people, have to know them. And I do think to just really know these people, and this is also something that I've been reading about, it is incredibly, even though it might be quite obvious, it is a good idea to ask them questions and only let them talk about themselves. People in general like to talk about themselves, and it's incredibly valuable also in this point of view, actually getting up to a person you might be interested in yourself and be like, as Dale Carnegie and Carnegie, actually, it's not a G, I think, is talking about in How to Win Friends and Influence People, actually being genuinely interested in the other person. Asking them a lot of questions, also asking them a lot of detailed and questions that matters. Not like questions, how are you doing today, what you have been doing, what are you doing for a living, all these basic fucking questions, but also maybe like something that's completely from another planet, like how do you think about the future of technology? Are you interested in the flying cars that may come up? This is a question. If you come up to me and tell me or ask me something like this, I just gonna be just really talking empathetically what I'm just thinking about this certain topic. And if you're doing this to other people, they will be empathetic as well, but you just have to know them. And for sure, you just have to get to them and be like, how are you doing? What are you doing for a living? And whatsoever. but then actually just somehow getting more detailed, understanding, okay, what are they talking about, how they are talking about the things you're asking them. If you're asking them about economics, are they passionate about and are they enthusiastic about what they are talking? If yes, they might be interested in just economics. If you're asking them something about science and they're not enthusiastic about science, ask them something differently. Just, let the conversation be going. But I also think that as I'm thinking about it, just asking so many questions that are somehow completely different might also not work that well. So quite being like, what do you think about economics? And that, at the second time, what do you think about, I don't know, science? And so many things. I don't know if this could work, but to know them, you really have to ask questions, and a lot of questions and a lot of detailed questions. And this is also something that you should, if you're interested in that, do that on Instagram as a marketing technique or strategy as well. Ask questions that matter. Detailed ones that really get into detail what they have said before. Maybe they say, okay, I don't fucking know. Their living is actually providing home for lost puppies because their owners just lost them somewhere, some shit like this. It could actually be it. And then asking like, okay, what puppies are they usually, and how do you treat them? And if they're not just empathetic about them, not empathetic but enthusiastic about this, just change it up. Even though it might be their work. But I do think often people can talk a lot about their work, and are like, this is something that they are doing. And at my point of view, often it's like what people are doing is something that I are also talking also not necessarily enthusiastic about, but just they want to and like to talk about these certain things. But yeah, and which means by asking questions and getting to know the people, you also have to be a good listener. So being genuinely interested, as I just mentioned. So good listener. Something else, and always be kind, because I do just Google something, just Google how to motivate others, and then you get a quick little overview, which is totally quite great. Google made this, actually taking the first few pages and the first few pages and put them into such a format that you can actually just really see the quick informations and whatsoever. Just being a good listener and also being kind, and also somehow in terms of the listening, enthusiastically listening, or generally being interested in the other person, being like, oh, what are you doing there? Asking more questions and more. And afterwards, if they just tell you, okay, that was a great conversation, even though they were the only person that have talked, you know that you've done everything right. You deeply know. Deeply, deeply, deeply know. Even though I'm just thinking about how you could actually make the pitch of actually going into the mood of, okay, but wouldn't you then be just interested in losing a little bit of weight somehow? And I don't know, I think it's complicated, and I think it's, because I'm not an expert in this kind of this kind of area, and might have not been the best actually way to use this new format and use this new way of actually making the videos. But I think it's somehow also dangerous, because if you then be after just asking so many questions about things they like and about these certain things, then being okay, and don't you want to just lose a little bit of weight, or don't you want to just eat a little bit healthier? I don't know. I don't actually know if this would actually be something that's too easy, because they might then be yeah, I want to, but I can't. I don't have the motivation for that. And if they tell you they can't, or they do not have the time, or it's too expensive, tell them facts, I'd say. And therefore, I do just also think that if you want to just motivate someone in a certain space and place and whatsoever, actually just having a great knowledge in this space would be a great thing, because it's often like the same shit, people are like, I do not have the time, I don't know, there's so many things people are kind of complaining about, dwelling about, quote unquote, whatsoever. Well, yeah, just being knowledgeable and just, denying every single fact that just quite isn't true or isn't like they put it and whatsoever might be a great way to, actually go. So maybe to summarize it up, by the way, to just somehow summarize it also for me a little bit, I quite enjoyed the episode like it was. It felt great for me. It isn't feeling so great for me in terms of actually knowing, okay, I could have provided you more value than what I've given you in this 30 minutes actually. So, I don't know. I don't know if this is valuable to a lot of people. I hope it is. I really hope it is. But I don't know. I really don't know. I really just hope. Well, but we've covered a few things. I do want to go through all of them. So, motivating is actually going for the internal things rather than the external ones, which means their internal beliefs, what they're thinking about, just what's internal, not things like, I don't fucking know. Just things that are internal. I don't know how to somehow tell you the opposite. And therefore, you have to talk in their interest. So be like, it might be good for you in this way and that way. And for actually doing this, you do have to, I've also talked about being, contributing to other businesses and to other people, and therefore talking in their interest. But to actually know them and be able to talk in their interest, you need to kind of know them and know what their values are, what they think about, what they like, what they dislike, what they're enthusiastic about, and whatsoever. Then ask, and for this you just have to ask questions if you're talking to them, and and then just somehow adapt to what they're telling you. If it is something that they are not enthusiastic about, ask something else. If yes, ask more about this, going into detail, asking questions that matter, that really, really matter, and definitely being kind and a good listener. And a good listener, to actually write this down as well, being genuinely interested. Yeah, I do think this was the episode to actually not, stretch it too much, and yeah, I do think you can totally go to people so internally and, get to them so internally that they are actually just, changing up something in their life, because they somehow realize, okay, I don't know, maybe it's not that hard as I thought it would be. Even though I do have to say there just have to be certain reasons why people aren't doing what might be, smart to do, like healthy eating. Yeah, I understand there's so many good things and so many things tasted well. But when you're feeling, just really bad after you've ate something that wasn't healthy, what's the ROI of that? I don't get it, Well, it's my way of living. And I've been just so into healthy eating and, doing sports and whatsoever, that is just a part of my life. And especially sports have always been a part of my life. So it's nothing for me to quite just think about. Sometimes I really just have to tell myself, okay, go to work out, go to take a run, I actually do not take a run, but go to ride your bike, whatsoever. Sometimes I actually do have to force, quote unquote, myself. But yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna end the episode on this screen, I guess. I don't know why. I hope this was somehow valuable to anyone there. I really hope that. I do think, there's something in it. Maybe I could have done that in 10 minutes as well. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you get the best health, wealth, happiness, and success. And do not forget about taking or giving back something to other people. Whether they have given you something or not doesn't matter, because it's just, making you happy and it's just helping them. So both sides somehow contribute off this or from that. And think about how you want to be remembered. And so actually your legacy, quite. Do you really want to be remembered as someone that's so completely shit and so completely, an asshole or something? Or do you want to be remembered as, someone that is nice and feel good about, what you're doing, and feel good about what you've been doing in the world and what you have done for the world? It's definitely, I think, a great feeling if you do just, I can say I've changed so many people. I think that's just feeling good internally. I'll see you.